everybody, welcome. How are you doing? I am Karen Danzy. I am here. I thank you for joining me. Man, it has been a while. Yes, it's been a while, and I have been doing some things in the background. Yes, I am officially am a podcaster, and I am using my platform to talk about eating disorder. I am bringing, um, I'm educating those. One reason why I want to do this is because my daughter suffers or is have been diagnosed with the eating disorders, and the impact that has been me trying to figure out what in the world, how can I help my daughter? How can I get through this moment? How can I be a helper and not a hindrance in her healing? So, um, I've created the Redeem Woman Rising Podcast 52, and it's the Healing Beyond the Mirror edition. So I'm just gonna get jump right into it, and give you who is this for? Okay, who, what, why, and how. Okay, so who is healing behind the mirror for? Okay, healing beyond the mirror is for individuals, family, caregivers, friends, faith, the faith community, and anyone impacted by an eating disorder. It is also for the person who may not fully understand eating disorder, but wants to learn how to respond with greater compassion instead of judgment. This is a space for those who are struggling, those supporting someone they love, and those who are simply want to become more educated and aware. I was like, man, I struggling, that was me. Like, how can I help my daughter? How can I educate? So, I'm going to be sharing some information. So that's why I created this. This is who I created this for. Okay? And what is healing beyond the mirror? What is that? Healing behind the mirror is special edition of the Redeem Woman Rising podcast created to bring together faith, education, awareness, compassion, support, and hope while addressing eating disorders and the stigma surrounded by it. So, in order for us to break any type of stigma, we must talk about it. We must educate ourselves. So, this is what this platform is for. We have honest conversations about recovery, family support, caregiver challenges, mental wellness, harmful stigmas, faith, and what healing can look like beyond what we see in the mirror. So it's more, you know, one stigma that it's like, why don't you just eat? But yeah, it's so much deeper than that. That's a stigma. The truth is, it's not about just eat. It's about mental health, mental wellness. So we're going to talk about what not to say, you know? For those who are struggling, you never know who's struggling with an eating disorder. It is not just in my days, Karen Carpenter, who struggled with the eating disorder. She died for complications, but because of me and others not being educated, they're like, "Oh, Karen Carpenter died from anorexia." No, it was the complications. And here on this platform, we're going to talk about the stigmas, the complications, because we want to educate ourselves. We want to educate ourselves. Okay. And why was healing beyond the mirror created? Because eating disorders are often misunderstood. People may hear just eat, you do not look sick, or they just seeking attention without understanding the deeper emotional and mental and physical struggles that may take place. Healing beyond the mirror was created to help replace stigmas with education, judgment with compassion, silence with conversation, and hopelessness with hope. I am also learning throughout this journey. I don't have all the answers. As I share with my audience, I'm growing, I'm listening, I'm learning, and allowing God to give me greater wisdom and compassion. Okay, how? How will we accomplish this? Through honest conversations, personal stories, trusted education, faith based encouragement, practical support for families and caregivers, stigma awareness, reflections, prayer, and calls to action. We will talk about difficult subjects with compassion while encouraging individuals and families to seek appropriate professional support and treatment. Most importantly, we will continue reminding people that their struggles does not define their identity or determine the ending of their story. And one of my guests will be my daughter. She was like, Mom, I want people to hear my story. I want to educate those. So one of my guests will be my daughter, who has been diagnosed with an eating disorder called anorexic. And it's not about why aren't you eating? It's about the mental health issues. And she wants to share that story. So I'm so excited for her and I to do that episode together in the future and to share firsthand from someone who struggles with the eating disorder. So stay tuned for that. I'm so excited. Our foundation is Jeremiah 29:11. Healing behind the mirror stands on promise that God still has a plan, even when we cannot see what healing looks like. Belief says God can restore. Faith chooses to trust him throughout the journey. This isn't just pretending that pain do not exist. It's about acknowledging the pain while continuing to believe the restoration, recovery, growth, and hope are possible. Hope remains. Healing is possible. Together we rise. So with that being said, y'all have an awesome blossom rest of the day. I am so excited. This is an introduction to the podcast. So stay tuned, stay tuned, stay tuned. And let's learn. Let's grow together. And together we will rise. Have a great one.